Thank you so much for joining the Work From Home Database. My name is Zara, and I'm going to be your guide into getting you the work from home job that you desire. So in this video, we're going to go over tips and tricks to create the perfect resume to land your dream job. Building a resume can be tricky sometimes, but with these strategies, you'll be getting job offers in no time. So let's get started. So as we all know, we live in a day and age where Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all these things have taken over our minds. So the attention span of an average human is that of a goldfish. So we need to make a resume that pops, that grabs someone's attention within the first 6 seconds of seeing it. The first thing we're going to want to do is make sure that our resume has a clear vision. Now by vision, I mean you want to figure out what it is that you have to offer this company. What are your strengths? Now you can figure out what your vision is or what your strengths are by looking back at your past jobs and figuring out what exactly were you good at. What goals did you accomplish at this job? How did you make that workplace a better place? So once you've figured out your strengths, you're going to want to create a brand profile. Now, in this section, this is where you're going to actually put those strengths. You want to showcase who you are and what you're best at in a brief description. Now, this section comes up right after your name and contact information. It appears right before your experience. The great thing about a branding profile is it conveys what you can do for the company rather than what you want from the actual experience. Companies are all about what you can do for them. You can name this section anything from personal summary to qualifications. I personally prefer personal summary over branding profile or my qualifications. Now, as a bonus for you guys, having an objective statement on your resume is outdated. And if you have one, honey, you need to get rid of it. So go ahead and click over on a tab, pull up that resume, and if you have an objective statement on it, backspace. So remember how I told you that the attention span of us humans nowadays is that of a goldfish, right? So what we're going to want to do is really put heavy focus onto the first top half of our resume. This is the place where hiring managers, recruiters look first. So we want to put a lot of effort into making sure that this portion of our resume stands out, that it pops, because they're getting so many resumes every day that they just click through, click through, click through. You want to make sure that your resume is the knight in shining armor that comes through and shows that you are the one for this job. Recruiters literally take in that 5 seconds the time to determine if they want to deal with you or if they don't. So for the first top half, you need to have your name, your contact, and a professional email. I cannot enforce this enough, but I'm pretty sure you already know that babygirl2121@gmail.com is not the email address that you need to use for your resume. So make sure that your email is professional. Once we have perfected the first half of your resume, we're going to want to start listing the accomplishments of what you've done at your past jobs. So in this second section, this is where you list the companies that you've worked for and what you've done for them. Oftentimes, when looking over resumes, I often see people putting the role that they were in, what were their tasks during that time. But that is totally not the right thing to do. The company doesn't want to know that you were working at said call center and your task was to answer 100 calls a day. A company wants to know what you accomplished on those 100 calls a day. So a great thing to do in this part of your resume is put, for example, I worked at said call center. Bullet point. At this call center, I was top 5 salesperson. I had a conversion rate of 75% when we only had a qualification to meet 50%. So put what you've accomplished at these companies instead of what your job task was. Doing this is going to make you so much more appealing as a candidate. Now, for everyone's resume, the next thing that's so important is relevancy. Now, there's many things that go into making your resume relevant. The first thing is you may be applying for many different types of jobs because you're an excellent, awesome person who's skilled in so many different things. Now, because of that, you are going to need to tailor your resume for the job that you are trying to get. So if you want a virtual assistant job, you're going to want to have a virtual assisting resume. Then if you want to have a copywriting job, you're going to want to have a resume that showcases your copywriting. So for each job, different resume that is tailored to those skills. Keeping your resume relevant also means the amount of time that you have on that resume. Now, anything past 10 years, just go ahead and kick it off. Goodbye, it's time to go. It's just not relevant anymore, unless it has to deal with the current position that you are applying for. So say it was 10 years ago and you just got out of school and you got an awesome sales job. So the job you're applying to now happens to be sales. You might want to keep that on the resume because why? It's relevant. But if 10 years ago you worked at Chuck E. Cheese as Chucky and the job you're trying to get right now is as a sales rep, then we're going to go ahead and let Chucky go. Lastly, I want you guys to put an emphasis on the format of your resume. Now, by format, I mean the design of your resume. Employers are getting hundreds, thousands of resumes every day, and people are making the resumes look exactly the same. Now, formatting your resume, it can be a little difficult because you don't want to go too far over the spectrum with shapes, colors, and awesome fonts, but you want to make it where it pops off the screen. So here are a few things that you can do to make your resume stand out from the masses. The first thing you're going to want to do is change the font. Everyone is using Times New Roman and Arial. They even posted the job in Times New Roman or Arial. So you can change it up a little bit by doing something like Garmin, Gill Sans, or even my favorite, Cambria. These fonts stand out from the others just enough to where it makes your resume come off the screen as opposed to others that they're seeing as they're scrolling down the list. The next thing is highlighted sections. So you can implement putting some bold sections. Bullet points are a must. So for each of your accomplishments, put a bullet point. That makes them know that this is something that is important and that I need to take a look at. You can also try to implement adding subtle color changes. So a little bit of an off black kind of going into a gray for certain things, like you post your job that you or the company you worked for in black and then your position in a subtle gray. This will make your resume stand out and make it seem like something to look at over all of the other resumes that they're viewing. So, with these tips in mind, I want you guys to go ahead, take another look at your resume and change it where it needs to be changed. If you have any questions or need me to help you with your resume, you can email me at careers@hustlefromhomeinc.com. I'll be sure to get back to you promptly. And if it's an emergency, go ahead and drop into our group chat. Someone may be able to help you, if not me. Also, we've partnered with My Perfect Resume. So if you need help with formatting your resume, you can head over there too, and they'll guide you through the process of creating the perfect resume to land this work from home job. So I want to thank you guys for watching and being a part of our team. You have a great rest of your day. Get to it and drop what happens in the chat. Bye, guys.